Good day and welcome back to the Traveling Yoga Mat. I'm Amanda and today I'll be guiding you through some gentle movement and a mindful practice. So let's get started. Let's find a seat wherever you are. Just be comfortable. Usually with mindfulness and meditation, I like to have my back unsupported. If that's not accessible to you, of course you can lie down, you can sit on a couch, you can stay in a chair, whatever works. All right, let's take a second and just tune in. So become aware of your surroundings, become okay with whatever is. If something around you wants to get under your skin or make you get up and move and change it, maybe you can just flood it with acceptance. Accept it for what it is right here, right now. And sometimes it takes doing that to be able to accept things about ourselves. And we can always start small, and we can always grow from there. And then just locating your breath. It's been happening non-stop your whole life, but if we can just pay some awareness to it, tap in, feel how it nourishes the body. If you're clenching your jaw, maybe you can make a nice big open shape with the mouth. I think Sunny just did it too, almost like you're yawning. It might feel silly, but just stretching out that jaw can honestly release a lot of built up pressure. And see if you can imagine that pressure just melting away, rolling off the body. Try and soften everything you can, including your thoughts. Nowhere to be, nothing to do. Just enjoying the moment for what it is. One of my favorite practices is just kind of deleting everything out of the picture in my mind. Different visuals may work for you, but we can kind of drag and drop things into the trash of our mind. And we don't necessarily have to empty the trash. We can always go back into the trash later and grab out what we may need to revisit. But for now, you can put it there and decide later what you want to do with it. A lot of the things that occupy our mind might be just kind of useless. And they might sometimes be even harmful. So if we can bring awareness to our thoughts and get more of a grip, more control over them, we might have a different reality, a different outcome. So if your eyes are open, that's lovely. Maybe you take this as kind of a gazing meditation. So you can look at the colors around you, the textures. Just appreciate all the variety of things in life and how different everything appears. What can you feel grateful for? And maybe rather than pulling it from the trash, maybe you think of something new, something brand new, like the trees that give us oxygen we breathe, or one of your favorite rituals in the morning. And just focus your attention on that, filling the body with that gratitude coming from that loving place. And then of course from here, you may want to write down some things that you're wanting to call in life. Maybe things that you're wanting more aligned. Always asking from this centered place. All right, let's go ahead and shift around. So if you're seated, let's switch out the orientation of the legs. So for me, left leg is gonna go on top this time. I'm just gonna rest my one hand in the lap, the other hand I've got on Sunny. She's being extra sweet this morning, so we're gonna include her. Close the eyes if they're not already. I spoke too soon, but that's okay, we need our mat. All right, maybe plant both hands on the knees and then pull the chest forward, draw the shoulders back, drop the head back and breathe in. Beautiful. Start the exhale. And then allow the spine to dome, sending it toward the back of the room, dropping the chin toward the chest. Stay there a moment and then start that inhale, allowing you to pull through to center, drop shoulders, drop the back of the head. Flowing through this, nice and slow, waking up the spine. Amazing. And with every time that you reach a cat or you reach a cow in its peak shape, maybe you just take it a millimeter further so that you can feel the stretch and the tension release. Awesome, and let's meet in the center. Let's go ahead and bring our legs long. And we're gonna come down to the mat, but keep the knees bent up. And actually, let's come onto our forearms. So knees are bent here. Coming onto the forearms, this is a modified fish pose. And then see that slowly dropping the head back. And just let it hang there. Maybe you do that big yawn shape with the mouth again. Taking an exhale, little lion's breath. Tap the fingers on the mat like you're playing the piano. Feel the texture of the ground with your fingers and toes. And then lift the head off the ground. Beautiful, just stay here a moment. Let's try and bring the shoulders away from the ears. So you're propping yourself up a little bit more so that you can feel the stretch in the fronts of the shoulders. And when you breathe in, you can feel it deepen. And when you breathe out, you relax. Go ahead and let that go. And let's come up onto our hands so that the fingers are faced toward our glutes. And walk those feet in just about a few inches or so toward you. And we're gonna lift the hips up, press into reverse table. So right away your head might wanna come into neutral position or you can drop it back. You don't have to be in this perfect table shape, but just working on lifting those hips. Nice, staying here for a moment. And then we'll lower down without touching the ground and see if you can swing the hips through the hands. Hold yourself up there for a second, straighten out the legs, and then lower yourself down. Nice, so flexing the toes back toward the face, the fingertips graze along the ground, we stabilize ourselves. And this is staff pose. This used to seem like a very useless pose to me, but as I've aged and matured throughout yoga and life, I realized that it's actually very important and beneficial. So the spine is as tall and long as it can be. Neck is neutral. Gaze is soft, but everything else is activated. So you're aware of your whole body here. Nice, and let that go. Just relax, relax the shoulders. And let's bring the right foot to the inside of left thigh. Let's reach the arms up and overhead. Breathe in. Exhale, fold over the left leg. Yeah, and this may look easier than it is and feels. It's a very, very deep stretch in the back of the leg. You can either grab for the toes, the ankles, even the lower leg. And play around with kind of taking a slight cat-cow shape with the spine and notice how that changes where you feel this. So when you take the chest forward and the head back slightly, you may feel it more in the left hip. And when you drop the head and round out the spine, you may feel it more in the hamstring. So just allowing both options to be what they are. And then roll on up. Yeah, let's switch out the legs, letting that go on the left side. Take a breath in. Reach up and exhale, fold forward. Reaching toward the toes, don't have to make it to the toes. And then find your breath. Maybe you play around with those miniature cat-cows. Really nice. Roll on up. Let's bring the soles of the feet to touch. And then if you like, you can bump those knees up and down, up and down. Nice butterfly. And taking the thumbs to the arches of the feet, maybe you just drag the thumbs along the arches, getting out any knots, any tension. And maybe with the fingertips, the index through pinky fingers, you rub the tops of the feet along those tendons. Nice. All right, let's take some twists here. So we're gonna bring the feet back to the mat. Knees are bent and we're sitting. Let's bring the left arm to the outside of the right thigh and bring right arm behind us like a kickstand. And then breathe in. Exhale, you twist. So taking the gaze toward the back of your space. And seeing if we can twist more from the core, more from the center than from our shoulders or our neck so much. And then just breathe, see if you can find some enjoyment in where you are. It's normal to want to move on to the next thing, on the mat and in life. And it's a beautiful thing when we can just fully be where we are. Nice, let's let that go. Bring both arms long in front of us. Go ahead and take a reset, whatever it is you need. Maybe rolling the shoulders around, maybe rolling out the neck a little bit. And then we're gonna take right arm to outside of left leg, left hand behind us. Inhale takes you up, exhale, you twist. Finding something in the room to gaze at. Breathe and be. Amazing, let's let that go. Bring the hands to the shins. Inhale, shine the chest forward, drop head back. Exhale, curl and round, chin, chest. Beautiful, breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. All right, let's lower down to our backs. Let the legs be long, let the hands fall out wide. Palms can be either face down or up. Sometimes resting the palms face down on the mat gives you a sense of groundedness. So see if you can play around with that. And if you decided to face the palms down, maybe you imagine how stable, how safe, how supported you are. There are other people that live in this building, and Sunny hasn't quite gotten used to that yet. But you know, they say the noise does not disturb you, you disturb the noise. So just let the noise be noise. Soften where you can. Let it go. And if you'd like, you can repeat, I am safe. I am loved. I am protected. Beautiful. Let's bring the hands, one to the chest, one to the belly. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Nice. Let's hug the knees into center. Roll side to side. Beautiful. Take a happy baby here. Grab for the outsides of the feet. Drop the knees in toward the rib cage. Roll side to side or find stillness. Amazing. And you can stay there as long as you like. When you're ready, you can hug the knees in. And let's just roll up gently, slowly. Find ourselves back and seated. I hope this practice was everything you needed today, and I hope to see you next time. Ciao for now.